The Financial Diet, a total beginner's guide to getting good with money by Chelsea Fagan. Picture this. You're 18, fresh-faced and ready to take on the world. Then one day, a shiny piece of plastic arrives in the mail. A credit card. It feels like magic, like someone just handed you the keys to a kingdom where anything is possible. So naturally, you go a little wild. A cute dress catches your eye, you treat your friends to a night out, maybe splurge on some concert tickets. 6 weeks later, that magic card stops working. Maxed out. And if you're anything like the woman who wrote this book, you might just chuck it in the trash and pretend those angry letters piling up in your mailbox don't exist. After all, you've still got some cash from your summer job, right? You're invincible. Except you're not. The savings evaporate faster than you'd ever imagine. The collection agencies start calling. Your credit score takes a nosedive. And suddenly you're standing at the starting line of adulthood, except you're already way behind everyone else, weighed down by mistakes you barely remember making. This was Chelsea Fagan's reality. She's the founder of the Financial Diet, and her story isn't just a warning about what not to do. It's actually a redemption story that's touched millions of young people who feel completely lost when it comes to money. Her book isn't one of those stuffy finance guides written by some guy in a corner office. It's more like your savvy friend sitting you down with coffee, ready to help you figure this whole money thing out. It's sold like crazy and sparked a worldwide movement because it starts from a place of real understanding. It knows that getting good with money isn't about becoming some financial genius overnight. Today, I'm going to walk you through the heart of this book. Here's my promise. By the time we're done, you'll see that managing money isn't about denying yourself or living like a monk. It's actually about freedom. It's about caring for your future self as much as you care about who you are right now. We're going to discover how to build an actual life, not just pad a bank account, by mastering the simple, everyday choices that really count. So let's dive in. Here's something most of us get completely wrong about money, especially when we're young. We treat it like some kind of report card that determines our worth, or worse, something to be deeply ashamed of. We assume that being good with money is this secret code that only people in expensive suits understand, full of intimidating terms like diversified portfolio and Roth IRA, that seem specifically designed to make us feel stupid. Chelsea felt this in her bones. For years, she just opted out of the whole conversation. Sure, she had a job, paid her rent, kept things afloat, but she was living by an incredibly low bar. She thought not a complete disaster was basically the same as financially responsible. She'd hoard cash in her checking account, terrified to touch it because she had zero clue what else to do with it. Her big investment in her early 20s? An absurdly expensive designer purse she bought on impulse. Then something clicked. She realized she couldn't keep treating her financial health the way she treated her body, like eating an entire family-size bag of jalapeno chips at midnight and then acting shocked when she felt awful the next day. She needed balance. She needed an actual plan, so she started a tiny blog to keep herself honest. She called it The Financial Diet. And here's the first major insight from her journey. A financial diet isn't about starving yourself. It's about nourishment. It's about making conscious, intentional choices about what you consume, not just food-wise, but everything your money touches. It's about deciding that you love future you enough to give them a life of stability, options, and peace of mind. So where does this whole thing start? Not with stocks, or cryptocurrency, or whatever's trending on social media. It starts with a simple, honest look in the mirror. It starts with a budget. Now I know, the word, budget, sounds about as fun as a root canal. It sounds restrictive, boring, like punishment for daring to enjoy yourself. Chelsea thought so too. She avoided budgeting for years. But then she realized something profound. Money without a budget is like champagne without a glass. It just goes everywhere and gets wasted. A budget isn't a cage, it's a map. It shows you where your money's actually going so you can finally start directing it where you want it to go. The first step is usually the hardest. You've got to sit down with a few months of bank statements and be brutally honest with yourself. Where are the leaks? What habits have you been conveniently ignoring? For Chelsea, using an app like Mint was a total wake-up call. It showed her, right there in black and white, that she was spending thousands on eating out and making impulse purchases she couldn't even remember. But from this painful honesty, she created a set of simple, powerful guidelines she called her "Don't You Dare" rules. They're the foundation of a healthy financial life. First rule: don't you dare spend money you can't pay back in full by month's end. Your credit card should be a useful tool, not your master. It's there to build credit and maybe earn some rewards, but the second you're carrying a balance you can't handle, you're sabotaging yourself. Second, don't you dare slip into a lifestyle you haven't actually earned. We all have this mental image of who we think we should be, and we try to spend our way into becoming that person. The fancy daily latte, a new outfit for every occasion. But here's the thing: you can't purchase an identity. You have to build it, and that starts with living within your actual means. Third, don't you dare go weeks without checking your bank balance. Avoiding the numbers doesn't make them disappear. It's like eating an entire cake while refusing to look at the nutrition label. You can't get healthy if you won't face the facts. And finally, the most crucial one: don't you dare think savings will magically happen someday in the future. There's no magical age where you suddenly become responsible. There's no future version of you who'll mysteriously have tons of extra cash lying around. There's only one you, and they need to start saving right now. Once you've embraced these principles, you can actually build your budget. The book suggests a classic framework, the 50-30-20 system. 50% of your after-tax income goes to fixed costs, the absolute must-haves like rent, utilities, and insurance. 30% goes to flexible lifestyle spending, groceries, entertainment, hobbies, the fun stuff. And that final, absolutely critical 20%? That goes straight to your financial goals, mainly savings. Almost everyone, Chelsea argues, should be saving a fifth of what they earn. This brings us to the very first thing you build with those savings: your emergency fund. This is absolutely non-negotiable. Before you start investing, before you aggressively tackle debt, you build a safety net. The goal is 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses tucked away in a simple savings account you can access easily. This fund is your shield. It's what stops a sudden job loss or unexpected medical bill from completely derailing your entire life. Living without an emergency fund is like driving without a seatbelt. You just don't do it. With your budget humming along and your emergency fund growing, now you can tackle something that used to feel scary: investing. Chelsea admits that for the longest time, investing felt like poker to her. A game played by confident older guys who knew what they were doing, where she'd almost certainly lose her shirt. She actually threw away the 401k enrollment letter from her first real job because she didn't understand it and felt too embarrassed to ask. That one decision cost her thousands of dollars. Here's what she learned: investing isn't gambling, unless you approach it like a complete idiot. For most regular people, it should be slow, steady, and honestly, kind of boring. The book gives us a fresh way to think about our money. Start looking at your money like it's your employee, or better yet, like it's your demanding boss. It shouldn't just sit in a checking account doing absolutely nothing. It should be working for you day and night, building your future. And the most powerful advantage you have? Time. Being young is like having a secret superpower for building wealth, because every dollar you invest has decades to grow and multiply. This is the magic of compound interest. The book introduces a wonderfully simple concept: the rule of 72. Want to know how long it'll take your investment to double? Just divide 72 by your annual return rate. So with an 8% return, your money doubles in about 9 years. At 12%, just 6 years. This simple rule helps you visualize just how powerful starting early really is. So where does your money start working? Your first stop should almost always be a retirement account, especially if your employer offers matching contributions. A 401k match is literally free money being handed to you. It's the closest thing to a guaranteed return you'll ever find. Beyond that, there are accounts you can open yourself, like a Roth IRA, which lets your money grow completely tax-free. These accounts are the safest, easiest, and most effective way for regular people to start building long-term wealth. This is your foundation. A budget that gives you control, an emergency fund that gives you security, and retirement accounts that build your future. But the financial diet teaches us that money isn't just about spreadsheets and numbers. It's woven into the very fabric of how we actually live our lives. Let's talk about your career. Your job is the engine powering your entire financial life. But many of us, especially early on, treat work like an annoying obstacle between weekends. Chelsea admits she got fired from about a dozen jobs in her youth, seeing work mainly as something that interfered with her social life. Everything shifted when she realized a simple truth. How you show up at work is a huge part of who you are as a person. Taking your work seriously brings this profound sense of calm and control to everything else. The book encourages us to become the chief executive of our own lives. This means constantly checking in with yourself. Are you fulfilled? Are you learning and growing? Are you being paid what you're actually worth? You need to research salaries on sites like Glassdoor and be ready to negotiate when it matters. Negotiating isn't bratty or greedy. It's what confident professionals do when they know their value. But being your own chief executive also means understanding something crucial. You should put a value on your time and start measuring wealth not just in money but in freedom. The more control you have over your finances, the more control you have over your career path. This is why side hustles matter so much. Having multiple income streams isn't just about making more money. It means no single employer controls your destiny. It gives you options. It gives you freedom. This whole philosophy of intentional living extends right into your kitchen. Chelsea argues that few choices impact your budget as dramatically as learning to cook. In our world of expensive foodie culture and instant delivery apps, cooking at home can feel like a chore. The book offers a beautiful reframe. Learn to be your own Italian grandmother. What does that mean? It means you stop trying to make every meal Instagram-worthy. Instead, you embrace a delicious, practical approach. You cook with what's in season, what's on sale, and what's about to go bad in your fridge. You batch cook and freeze meals for later. You master 10 simple recipes you can make with your eyes closed. You understand that meat should be a treat, not the centerpiece of every single meal. When you master your kitchen, you master your wallet. A happy, functional kitchen is one you actually want to use, which means way less money wasted on overpriced takeout. The same thinking applies to your home. For most of us, housing is the single biggest line item in our budget. It's also a space that can either drain us or energize us. Chelsea shares the story of her first apartment, this tiny room with truly unfortunate Tiffany blue walls. It was a mess, but it was hers. She discovered that creating a home you genuinely love is a gift you give yourself that ripples through every area of your life. A bedroom you love encourages you to maintain an organized closet. A living room you're proud of makes you want to host friends at home instead of constantly going out. The book pushes us to get handy, learn to use a power drill, fix a dripping faucet, hang things properly on the wall. You don't need to drop a fortune at fancy furniture stores. Master the art of the thrift store. Learn to see potential in a beat-up dresser that just needs some sanding and a fresh coat of paint. When you take control of your space, you stop spending money trying to escape it. And for those dreaming of eventually owning a home, the message is crystal clear. You need to start planning for it now, not someday. Treat it as an active goal, not a vague fantasy. This means building your credit score, saving aggressively for a down payment, and living below your means. A good credit score, Chelsea points out, is the golden key to a good mortgage. A score of 740 or higher qualifies you for the best interest rates, potentially saving you tens of thousands over the life of your loan. Finally, we arrive at the most delicate territory of all, money and relationships. The book makes this brilliant comparison using the iconic show Sex and the City. When it comes to life and money, you want to be Miranda, not Carrie. Carrie Bradshaw, for all her fabulous shoes and adventures, lived in constant financial chaos. Her long-term plan basically seemed to involve finding a wealthy man to rescue her. Miranda Hobbs, on the other hand, was an absolute force. She was a successful lawyer who bought her own apartment, took charge of major financial decisions, and never depended on anyone else for her security. She understood that having control over your own destiny is the ultimate form of self-respect. This is the final, and maybe most important, piece of the financial diet. We absolutely must get comfortable talking about money with the people we love. It's such a weird taboo. As one expert in the book puts it, people are more willing to discuss anal sex than money, but avoiding these conversations just makes everything worse. In friendships, pretending a massive income gap doesn't exist doesn't make it disappear. It just breeds resentment and awkwardness. The only way through it is open, empathetic conversation. And in romantic relationships, it's even more critical. Money, as therapist Olivia Mellon explains in the book, is never just money. It represents power, security, love, and control. This is why she offers crucial advice, a rule she says she has to repeat 3 times. All women need some separate money. All women need some separate money. All women need some separate money. It's not about distrust. It's a tangible symbol of maintaining a self that doesn't get completely lost in the relationship. It's a healthy boundary that protects your independence. This journey of getting good with money isn't really about spreadsheets and retirement calculators. It's a deeply personal, holistic process. It starts with facing your past mistakes without drowning in shame. It moves to building a budget that empowers you, an emergency fund that protects you, and investments that construct your future. And it weaves into every corner of your world, your career, your kitchen, your home, and your relationships. The ultimate goal of the financial diet isn't to make you rich. It's to help you build a life of intention, security, and freedom. It's about giving yourself permission to change course, to start small, and to pursue what genuinely makes you happy, because you've built a solid foundation underneath your feet. It's about learning to dream not just big, but also medium, setting manageable, realistic goals that create a life of diverse fulfillment, so your entire happiness doesn't rest on one single, fragile outcome. It's about becoming the architect of your own life, one thoughtful, deliberate, empowered decision at a time. As I reflect on the lessons from the financial diet, what strikes me most is its beautiful simplicity and genuine humanity. This isn't a book that lectures from on high. It meets you right where you are, in that messy place of confusion and anxiety that so many of us feel about money, and it gently says, "Hey, it's okay. I've been there too. Let's figure this out together." The most powerful idea for me is how it completely reframes what a budget actually is. We're so conditioned to see budgets as restrictive, like handcuffs keeping us from fun. Chelsea Fagan teaches us to see it as a declaration of our priorities. It's a tool for living intentionally. It's you telling your money what matters to you, instead of letting random impulses make those decisions. When you see it that way, budgeting becomes genuine self-care, a way of honoring the person you're becoming. The second lesson that really resonates is the holistic nature of this approach. We love to compartmentalize everything in modern life. We have our work self, our home self, our financial self, like they're all separate characters we play. This book beautifully shows that they're all part of one interconnected system. How you feel about your career directly impacts your income. How you handle your kitchen directly affects your spending. The health of your relationships influences your financial stress. You can't fix one piece in isolation. To become truly healthy, you need to tend to the whole garden. And finally, the emphasis on conversation is revolutionary. The silence around money is exactly what gives it so much destructive power. It lets shame, insecurity, and misunderstanding grow in the dark. By pushing us to talk openly with friends, partners, and ourselves, the book strips money of its taboo status. It transforms it from a source of conflict into a tool for working together. So how can you start applying these ideas to your own life today? Here are 3 simple actions you can take right now. First, for the next 7 days, just track your spending. Don't judge yourself. Don't try to change anything yet. Just write down where every dollar goes. The simple act of paying attention is the first step toward awareness, and awareness is the first step toward real change. Second, pick one person you trust, maybe a parent, a close friend, or your partner, and start one small, honest conversation about money. You could ask them, "What's the best money advice you've ever gotten?" Or, "What's one financial goal you're working on?" Break that wall of silence. You might be amazed by how relieved they are to finally talk about it too. And third, do one small thing for your future self this week. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Set up an automatic transfer of just $20 from checking to savings. Pack lunch for work one day instead of buying it. Spend an hour learning about your employer's retirement plan. These small, consistent actions are the bedrock of building a secure future. That's our deep dive into the financial diet by Chelsea Fagan. We've covered the core principles today, but here's the truth. A summary can only ever be a map. The real treasure comes from walking the path yourself. The true magic happens when you read the actual book. When a particular story or simple phrase connects with you in an unexpected way. This summary is designed to help you decide if this journey is one worth taking. If anything we've talked about today has sparked something in you, I really encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning facts. It's an experience that can genuinely shift how you see yourself, your money, and the beautiful life you can build. You'll find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable and it gave you a fresh perspective, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.